Hey guys, Season 13 of The Curse of Oak Island continues to push deeper, both literally and historically, into the mystery that has gripped researchers for more than 2 centuries. Episode 4, in particular, stands out for the sheer diversity of findings: deep drill investigations at the Money Pit, new structural clues in the swamp, medieval-era metal artifacts, and a surprising potential firearm fragment that may connect the island to early European military activity. Across multiple dig sites, from Lot 5 to the western swamp to the depths of the Money Pit, the team uncovers evidence that continues to push the story centuries before 1795, the year the Money Pit was first discovered. Episode 4 is dense with developments, but a few thematic threads emerge clearly. The deepening mystery of the Solution Channel, the proliferation of man-made structures across the island, and the growing accumulation of old-world artifacts whose origins hint at hidden medieval operations. The most immediate action this week centers on borehole F5.5, a new drill site only 7 feet from F4. One of the most intriguing holes the team has ever dug due to its extraordinarily high levels of gold and silver detected in the water. This proximity makes F5.5 a strategic target. If treasure fell into a geological void, what the team calls the Solution Channel, during earlier collapse events, then this new borehole may penetrate the very cavity where that material settled. The sense of anticipation is heightened by recent historical revelations. A reported 14th century Portuguese coin once found in the original Money Pit, along with isotopic matches between earlier lead artifacts in medieval southern France, has energized the team's belief that European groups, perhaps even a Templar-connected faction, could have deposited treasure on Oak Island long before the 1700s. As the F5.5 drill advances into the predicted void space, the excitement peaks when the drill retrieves a small, dense metal fragment. The team immediately suspects a coin fragment, confirmation that heavy objects really can fall into the Solution Channel and survive intact. Even when the object is revealed to be a carbide button from a previous drill bit, the disappointment is quickly overshadowed by what the button proves. Dense metal debris, even tiny fragments, will travel downward through loose fill until they reach the bedrock interface. This is the strongest physical validation, yet of the team's theory that treasure, or remnants of it, could have migrated into deep voids through centuries of collapses, flooding, and tunneling. The find isn't treasure, but it points directly toward where treasure could be. If the Money Pit developments push the story downward, the swamp discoveries expand it outward. Gary Drayton, Billy Gerhardt, and Rick Lagina open the episode by working in the swamp's western edge, an area historically less explored than the celebrated Stone Road or the paved area found in previous years. Almost immediately, the team uncovers an astonishing number of wooden stakes buried in a tight 50 by 50-foot area. The density alone is bizarre. Instead of forming orderly rows, the stakes appear erratic, almost chaotic. Yet, their survival in pristine condition suggests age, and their placement hints at a forgotten construction, one not yet visible to the team. Billy's observation of a sand layer beneath the stakes adds weight to the idea that this area was intentionally engineered. Sand does not naturally accumulate in this part of the marsh, making its presence a strong indication of human manipulation. Then comes an even larger surprise: the discovery of a rock feature that looks strikingly similar to the Stone Road and the massive paved area uncovered in recent seasons. The rocks here are stacked, leveled, and deliberately arranged in a way that strongly suggests a built structure. When Dr. Ian Spooner arrives to evaluate the site, he immediately notes the parallels. The arrangement mirrors not only the Stone Road, but also the piles of stone once found along its sides, stones that were likely set by workers under the guidance of stakes marking their placement. This parallel leaves a tantalizing possibility that another medieval period construction may lie just beneath the swamp's chaotic topography. As always, environmental permits constrain the team's ability to dig where they want. But with Spooner's encouragement, they prepare to extend their excavation northward as soon as authorization arrives. If the feature is connected to the Stone Road, the paved area or the vault structure revealed in Season 10, then the swamp may yet provide the architectural context that gives meaning to the island's other mysterious finds. While drilling and swamp excavations proceed, Lot 5 once again proves to be one of the most unexpectedly fruitful zones on the island. Historically dismissed as farmland, the lot has repeatedly produced artifacts dating far earlier than either the known settlement of the island or the 1795 discovery of the Money Pit. A lead artifact with medieval potential. The first major development comes when Emma Culligan analyzes a lead artifact found near the rectangular foundation on Lot 5. Using XRF scanning, she determines that the lead shows no modern alloys and is consistent with material from 1700 or earlier. This places it potentially in the same era and perhaps even the same origin region as the medieval lead cross and the Lot 5 lead barter token, both previously linked isotopically to 14th century southern France. The artifact lacks decorative etching, but its purity and lack of recycling markers make it an ideal candidate for laser ablation testing. If it matches the isotopic signature of the Templar-connected artifacts, Lot 5's significance would escalate dramatically. Laser testing is ordered immediately. Scissors or horse tack, identifying a 17th century tool. A second find, a pair of fragmented iron pieces, initially appears to be medieval horse tack, which would imply a European equestrian presence on the island centuries ago. But in the lab, Emma reveals that the two pieces are actually the broken handles of a pair of shears dating to the 1600s. Their prolonged exposure to salt water and pre-blast furnace composition reinforce their age. Though not as ancient as some other artifacts, they strongly suggest that Lot 5 was occupied or used by Europeans at least a century before the Money Pit discovery. A new stone feature and the Roman coin mystery deepens. Later, Rick and Gary uncover a circular stone feature centered around a deliberately upright slab. The arrangement is too intentional to be natural. Combined with other circular features on Lot 5 and the 6 Roman coins found nearby, it raises profound questions. Is this structure a marker, a monument, a boundary, or part of a larger complex attached to the shoreline features? Nan suggests bisecting the formation, an excavation strategy often used in archaeology to reveal a feature's purpose and stratigraphy. The team prepares to investigate further. As the episode closes, the swamp delivers 2 final surprises. First, Rick and Gary uncover charcoal in the same area where they found the rock feature and stakes. The charcoal strongly resembles the centuries-old material recovered along the stone road, material that may date back to the Portuguese or other early European activity. If the charcoal is contemporaneous, it links multiple swamp features into a single historical event. Second, and more dramatically, Gary retrieves a heavy, unusual piece of iron. One end appears hollow, the other diagonally raised. He suggests it could be part of a petronel, a short-barreled firearm from the 14th to 16th centuries used primarily by cavalry. If true, this would represent one of the most significant military artifacts ever found on Oak Island. The petronel hypothesis remains tentative pending a CT scan, but even the possibility reinforces a growing theme. Whoever worked on Oak Island centuries ago may have been part of an organized, well-equipped European group. Episode 4 does not deliver a single breakout discovery. Instead, it presents something arguably more important. A convergence of clues across multiple domains: geology, metallurgy, archaeology, and history. The solution channel is proven capable of collecting dense artifacts. Lot 5 continues yielding pre-Money Pit European material. The swamp reveals more engineered structures paralleling known medieval-style constructions. Lead artifacts increasingly appear to share origins with Templar-era southern France. Possible military hardware from the 14th to 17th centuries emerges deep in the bog. What makes this episode compelling is how these seemingly separate discoveries reinforce one another. Taken individually, each find is interesting. Taken together, They begin to outline a coherent historical scenario, a well-organized, possibly multinational European group operating on Oak Island centuries before the Money Pit story begins. If the team can connect the stone structures, the medieval artifacts, and the mysterious voids beneath the Money Pit, they may finally identify not just what happened on Oak Island, but who did it, when, and why. And this episode suggests they are closer than ever. The possibility that multiple cultures or groups visited Oak Island across different centuries adds a fascinating new complexity to the narrative. For much of the show's early seasons, speculation tended to focus on a single deposit event, typically imagined as a one-time effort by pirates, privateers, or secretive medieval organizations. But the growing accumulation of artifacts from different periods suggests a multi-layered history instead. Instead of one group hiding one treasure, the evidence increasingly hints at repeated visits, overlapping occupations, or sequential phases of activity. The 14th century lead artifacts, 1600s iron shears, potential 1500s firearm fragment, and Roman coins, objects separated by hundreds or even thousands of years, collectively imply that Oak Island may have served as a waypoint or operational hub long before the 18th century. Another intriguing thread involves the island's landscape itself. The more features the team uncovers, roads, pathways, cobbled surfaces, stake alignments, paved areas, and now new stone circles, the more Oak Island begins to resemble an engineered environment rather than a natural one. The swamp, in particular, increasingly appears to be artificially manipulated. Dr. Spooner has long suggested that the swamp could be a flooded, controlled basin or a deliberately altered terrain designed to hide or protect structures. When features in the western swamp mirror those in the southeast, it supports the idea of a large, intentional layout that once extended across the entire bog. The implications are staggering. Someone not only altered the environment, but did so with planning, labor, and technology that required significant organization. The emergence of the potential early firearm component amplifies another overlooked aspect of Oak Island's mystery: security. If the object is indeed a petronel or similar weapon, it would indicate the presence of individuals who were either defending something or prepared for confrontation. Firearms of that era were not casual tools. They were heavy, costly, and typically reserved for military or high-status individuals. The notion that armed personnel might have been stationed on Oak Island suggests a guarded operation, a deposit site, a rendezvous point, or even a temporary encampment meant to protect something of value. This connects intriguingly with the growing evidence of controlled construction in the swamp and on Lot 5, reinforcing a narrative of purposeful, organized activity. Equally compelling is how these finds converge geographically. Lot 5, the western swamp, and the Money Pit are not isolated discoveries, but part of a triangular zone with interlocking clues. For instance, medieval lead artifacts in Lot 5 correlate with medieval-era lead cross findings closer to Smith's Cove. Cobblestone structures in the swamp align with pathways leading toward the Money Pit. Even the Roman coins were found near structural features that appear ceremonial or symbolic. This geographic convergence strengthens the argument that much of Oak Island was part of a coherent plan, whether as a treasure repository, a navigational landmark, or a secure operational base. As the team overlays new findings onto old site maps, the island begins to look less like a place of random anomalies and more like a coordinated site, with multiple interconnected purposes. Ultimately, Episode 4 amplifies a broader shift in the series. The search is no longer only about what is buried here, but increasingly about who was here before and why. Treasure hints remain highly motivating, especially in the Money Pit, but the episode's core discoveries point towards something more culturally and historically significant. Whether the island served as a medieval transport hub, a secretive Templar outpost, a Portuguese navigational station, or the operations center of an unknown early European group, the emerging picture is one of depth, complexity, and intentionality. The more the team uncovers, the more the island transforms from an isolated curiosity into a place where major historical forces may once have converged.